week 13 of the fantasy football season. And here's a few quarterbacks I would drop this week. The first guy, Big Ben Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Big Ben, he hasn't played big at all this season. It's been a bad season for him, no doubt about it. And I think Father Time has definitely caught up to Big Ben here. A lot of miles on his body, a lot of bad hits he's taken in his career. And no doubt about it, he's a warrior and possibly a future Hall of Famer here is Ben Roethlisberger. But right now, he's not getting the job done for the Steelers or fantasy owners. Right now, the Steelers are a 500 team at 5-5-1 on the season. And right now, he's even with pretty good weapons on his roster, he really hasn't gotten the job done here. Is Ben Roethlisberger. Week 9 versus Chicago, 205 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Week 11, he had a breakout game at the Chargers, 273 passing yards and 3 TDs. And then in Week 12 at Cincinnati, he looked horrible in that ball game, 263 pass yards in that one. A touchdown, 2 interceptions, and a fumble loss, which was only good for 10 fantasy points. So right now, Big Ben, defenses are getting to him, and he's not the quarterback he was. The arm strength's gone down a little. The deep ball just isn't there. Defensive lineman gets a grab of him. He's going down. He used to break a lot of tackles and extend the play, but right now, Father Time's caught up to him, and he's just not a fantasy factor, in my opinion, even with good weapons like Najee Harris, Pat Freiermuth, who's emerged, and obviously Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool. But I would drop him this week. The next quarterback I would look to drop this week, Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons. I've struggled for him over the last month and a half now for Matty Ice. He had another good matchup, is Matt Ryan, Week 12 at Jacksonville, and he didn't do nothing with it. 190 passing yards, a touchdown and an into. So after the last 3 games here where he's done nothing, is Ryan, this is the telling sign to drop him. Somehow he's still owned in 47% of fantasy leagues, but at this point he's just another guy that's a name. And right here without Calvin Ridley, no doubt about it, that's a big effect on Ryan's numbers and the Falcons losing ball games. So the last few games for him, Week 10 at Dallas, 117 pass yards, 2 windows. Week 11 versus New England, 153 passing and 2 windows. And Week 12, like I mentioned, at the Jaguars, 190 passing yards, a touchdown into in that one. So Week 13, pretty tough matchup versus Tampa Bay, even though we've seen quarterbacks have success versus them this season. But I just can't trust Matt Ryan. He's shown nothing in the last 4 out of 5 weeks here for fantasy owners. And in my opinion, he's an easy quarterback to get away from and drop in the third and final quarterbacks, Cam Newton of the Carolina Panthers. So I was big on Cam Newton over the last few weeks here, where he had good matchups, and he definitely got the job done in Week 11 versus Washington. Show up in that ball game, and he dropped the ball literally in that one. So Week 11 versus Washington, 189 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, 46 rush yards, and a TD. And then Week 12 in Miami, it was a total mess here for Newton. 92 pass yards, 2 windows, 5 rushing yards, and a touchdown. So right here, they had enough over there, Matt Rule and the Panthers in that ball game. And they benched him for P.J. Walker. So right now with the benching in the bad game and a bye in Week 13, he's an easy quarterback, in my opinion, to get away from. And Newton was a hot ad, no doubt about it, added in 17% of fantasy leagues going into Week 12. But right now with the bye week and the benching, he's an easy quarterback to drop, in my opinion. So that's a few quarterbacks I would drop here in Week 13 of the fantasy football season.